Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we're going to talk about Cyrelle, the newest MR unit coming to War of the Visions. She's free to get through a acquisition quest, and we'll be able to obtain leveling materials for her. So she's a very accessible unit, but how does she stack up with the UR units in the game? We're going to explore all that today, and talk about if she's worth paying any attention to or not, even if she's free. Now, let's start by comparing her to the other Strider that we have in the game, because she's main job Strider, which is an axe using job, and we have Summer Kilfay, who's a pretty dang strong UR unit. If you look at their stats, they actually stack up pretty similarly in a couple of important ways. Kilfay does bring a little bit more HP, but look at the attack for Cyrelle. 589. That is an insanely high number. Kilfay's only bringing 494, at her basic level. Now, agility is an area where Cyrelle will fall behind. At 59, she's pretty slow. And as a person who's built to only do damage, you really want her getting multiple turns off and not getting lapped. So at 59 agility, that's going to be an area you'll have to pay attention to when you're thinking about espers, vision cards, and gear to get that agility score kind of pumped up as much as you can. Okay, Dex and Luck. Her luck is a little bit low, which might lead you to think she has some accuracy issues, but that's not going to be the case at all. When we look in her kit, you're going to see that she's a very, very accurate unit who can even buff the accuracy of her group, so that's not going to be a problem for her. The biggest difference here, in my opinion, is that Summer Kilfay brings 16 base spirit, whereas Cyrelle brings no defense or no spirit base. So even though she has a lot more attack, I still have to say statistically, I think I like Summer Kilfay stats better, but Cyrelle's are plenty good to play around in my opinion. If we look at her resist, she has 15 slash resistance, which is going to be really nice and help make up for her lack of defense and spirit. She is, however, a little weak to magic at -10, which could be a red flag, but overall I think her resists are very good, and overall I think her stats look like a UR unit in disguise as an MR unit. But as we know, it will come down a lot to the kit. So let's go into WoTV Calc and take a peek at what she's bringing. Now, let's start with her Trustmaster here. This is an axe, right? So whenever you see a Trustmaster weapon, you want to think, is this something that with Trust Stones I can make, top tier? And I think it's not bad. I say that because 163 attack is pretty nice, 8 accuracies, whatever, but it's this increase AP by 20. This is something that will stack nicely with the buffs from Trust Stones that might not stack with other ones. For example, if this had slash attack up on it, it would not stack with a slash attack up Trust Stone, and a lot of people are building that kind of stat on their TMR stones, so I think it's good for that reason. And if you lack for axes to be building as TMR weapons, it could be a good candidate in that area. For her master ability, this is another area where she's going to fall behind her UR counterparts. She gets 10% wind HP for allies, but instead of giving wind attack, she's going to give confusion resist. Now, confusion resist isn't worthless, but it's far worse than buffing wind attack for your group. This is the advantage that URs have, is that all of them bring that buff. However, the rest of her master ability is pretty nice. HP plus 20% and slash attack 10. Okay, good. We can work with that as a DPS unit. What kind of skills is she bringing? And here's where she starts knocking it out of the park. Her support abilities are fantastic. First of all, Wild Instinct gets EX upgraded to Wild Impulse. It is an accuracy 25, defense penetration 40, slash attack resistance penetration 40. This is a girl who wants to do a lot of physical damage with her axe, and she gets 2 penetrations at 40 from one support ability. That is awesome. So I really, really like that. Then I think most of the time you're going to run her with Secret of the Nightblade. This is the one that a lot of classes have this, and it's really good. It's a 30% attack buff, more accuracy, so you're already at 50 accuracy just from the 2 support abilities, and it nerfs her evasion by 10, but she was not dodging anything anyway, so we don't really care about that. Now, comparing her back to Summer Kilfay again, this is where Summer Kilfay is able to get very, very fast, because Kilfay has that agility support ability from her ninja sub job, whereas Cyrelle here lacks that, but her damage will be very high running Wild Impulse and Secret of the Nightblade. Her counter abilities. She has an all damage counter reduced by 30%. This will help her be a little bit tankier. And then other than that, she just has counter punch or counter slash. a little weak here, but you could run this one to just help her survive some damage. Or you could go for her like right up in your face counterattack moves. These aren't very good. These are very basic, I'll put it like that. Although I think you just run signs. Okay, let's go to her main job. First of all, her reusable 14 AP cost, cheat move is a slow. It's a single target attack, 121% modifier. She scales purely off of attack with a 25% chance to inflict slow at range 5. That's pretty good. It has 5 uses. You might get some use out of that. Now, her buffs are phenomenal. First of all, Amulet Fangs. This is a attack and spirit buff for the party. Summer Kilfei is famous for casting this when fighting against anti-mages. A pocket spirit buff can be a very nice thing, but she has better ones. Okay, Frozen Snow Axe is her next move. This is the AoE axe attack that has a chance of inflicting Frostbite, a very effective move for PvP. Frostbite will destroy units who are low on AP. They will just never get to do a special move again if you can drop Frostbite on them. Now, Wild Liberation. This is a fantastic buff. She's already a hugely accurate unit from her support abilities. This will be another 30 accuracy for her and her allies in an AoE. And it will increase slash attack resistance penetration for herself by another 30, putting her at 70 with just this buff and her support ability. So she's basically not going to care a lot about slash resistance, which is everywhere in the game. I think this is a super important buff and will be core to her kit, especially if you're fighting evasion teams. She has Tornado Smashing Shield. This is a high damage, low range attack, but hits in a small AoE and breaks physical barriers. It gets upgraded to Mist Whirl Axe. The damage stays the same, the AP cost goes down, and it now also decreased AoE resistance by 30 for just this cast. So basically it just powers up its own damage a little bit more by penetrating some of the enemy's AoE resistance, which there's not a lot of AoE resistance pin in the game. That's pretty neat. And then her job level 25 ability is real good. It only costs 20 AP. It has range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it hits from a long way away. It's 165% modifier, but it dispels Protect, Shell, and Runic Shield. Like, take that, one Runic Shield person we have in the game. You get your Runic Shield dispelled. So a really nice dispel move right here that will also do some big damage. Now, when we look at her Strider sub-job, this is where her PvE usefulness can really come in a bit. She has a 2-hit, fairly decent ranged attack that's a slasher with 4 uses. So she will be very useful in PvE groups without having to carry the Halloween Vision card to get the 3-hitter. I think a lot of people will run her in her Monk sub-job just to give her access to another damage type. Even though she has all that slash attack resist pin, it can still be nice to have the option of punching someone because there's so little strike resist in the game. Punching someone can be an effective option. And then her Nightblade sub, you might run this if you want to do one of these buffs, right? If you specifically want to fight Piercer Missile teams, I could see this buff being useful. Or if you want a slash attack buff for your group and a defense pin buff for her instead of the slash resistance option. Personally, I think you mostly will stick to Monk for PvP and Strider for PvE, and I just think her main job is really good. Now, is she going to be like, you are good? Probably not, right? She's a free MR unit, but for being a free MR unit, heck yeah, I could see some pretty cool teams with her, pairing up with other wind slashers, maybe like Varouche for fun, or Joom and her would make a really good partnership. Ayaka, by the way, with that defense penetration buff she can cast on people, could be a really good sneaky partner for her. Let her cast her own slash attack resistance buff, let Ayaka give her defense pin and lifesteal, and then just let her tee off and do maximum damage. You're going to need to give her agility because she's slow, but built correctly, I think she could be a very effective unit for PvE and PvP. Alright, now, next, we have a bonus account review coming in from Wasteboy, so check that out. Let's do it. And today's bonus account review comes to us from Wasteboy. Wasteboy, thank you so much for being a member on the YouTube channel and supporting what I do. Let's give the people your story. So, day 1 player, main focus of the account is PvP, although his guild just got 37th in the last guild raids, which is pretty good. And guild raids are super fun, so I'm happy to hear more people getting into it, because that's probably now my favorite PvE content. Anyway, hopes that Fire will make a resurgence in the meta again, and says his biggest weakness is his laziness towards selection quests. So let's see how this account plays out. Here you see rank 162, home screen unit Setia, that's OP, I love Setia. Royal rank 10, so spend some money, but definitely not too much. Hanging out at Royal rank 10 and being a day one player, that means you're not overspending for sure. Let's continue. Okay, here's the guild, Balam Garden. This is the rank 37 from Guild Raid, 179 million, so that's doing really good. Like, that gets you some nice rewards too, so that always feels good when the guild can come together and pull off those W's. Looking at mastery rating, it looks like we're going to see a lot of light units, not a ton of ice, and he mentioned fire, but fire only at level 22, but there's not a ton of OP fire units, so I could see that being kind of a thing. Okay, we're going to kick it right off with fire anyway. Terra, Setia, King Mont. This was my fire team right here. I loved this team. Also has Glassy and Rain at 120, and then Elda at 99. I still want to see Raldor in action. I haven't put him into action yet, but I have faith that Raldor is going to be good. Maybe not good enough to bring fire all the way back into the meta. Now, Ice was his lowest score as far as mastery level goes, but the top end of your Ice account is really good. Salir, Laswell, Gilgamesh, Nasha at 120 is your tank. I mean, I could see that being a little bit of a holdback, but Agrius coming back in a couple of months, so that could be a chance to put your Ice kind of on the map. Wind is looking pretty good. Leela, Marymore, and where's Joom hanging out at? Where's Joom hanging out at? Okay, so Joom is the missing element from Wind here for sure. If she was here, this would be like everything you need for Wind. As it is now, you have like Dario running around as a tank, so you'd probably be better off sticking with like Evasion Girls, Halloween Little Leela if you were going for a PvP Wind team, or Dario in a class match limited situation. You did mention that class match is one of your favorite things, so this is actually a good Wind class match account because Dario is so useful in those situations. Okay, Earth, it looks like kind of the same story. Top end real good with Oberon Noctis. Zazon's working his way up there, and then here's Mont again for like class match limited situations. You could definitely pull off Earth with some combination of these four plus Mont. Okay, makes sense. And especially when you start looking at this account through the lens of class match, I do think the unit builds start making a ton of sense. Now, here is just a PvP powerhouse element, Lightning. And yeah, Esther, Ibarra, Cloud, Charlotte, that's what you need. Resnick's on her way up, and yep, don't need to say any more, good to go. Okay, water. Actually quite a bit of water built up. Summer Elsie, Moore, and Winter Vicky. Titus at 120, and he's getting his rerun here pretty soon. Ildira's at 120, and then Celis is almost there. So she'll kind of tie all this together when she gets to 120. And then water's a pretty dang strong PvP element, Astrius. Again, like I think Warrior of the Crystals are the missing element here, but those are hard to get. So like this looks really strong for water minus Astrius is what I would say. Okay, light. This was your highest mastery score element, and yep, here you go. You've got Violet, you've got Locke, you've got Elena. You can do light. That's basically it, right? And then you mix in a Jaden, Lucio, Kilfay, Elsie, Yuna. You got whatever you need, even for class matches as well, with Fina and Mariel being pretty good class match units. There's Engelbert, Sakura's got at 120, so your light element is in a good spot, and if you focus on PvP, that's a good choice. Dark, let's see, you've got Helena, Ruinstern, Garvel, and Benera at 120. Joker and the new Leela are close. Giza for Bells. And then, yeah, here's the slacking on Selection Quest. If you haven't done Dark with a rank 162 account, you probably just aren't doing Selection Quest. Like, here's the thing. You don't need the units, right? But that elemental material refresh every month is very, very nice. That's why I would suggest Selection Quest. Now, Vision cards, these are going to be no surprise. Just expect to see a ton of level 99s. And look, these are UR Vision cards at level 99. I mean, and they're bangers. You got all the good ones here maxed out. Let's get to the point where they start unmaxing. You got to get all the way down to like Garvel and Mont's Vision card here. And this is the Earth Mont Vision card. No, this is the Fire Mont Vision card. There's two Vision cards that have a picture of UR Mont on them. One of them's Earth, one of them's Fire. So one of those is only at level 85. But your UR Vision cards are almost all maxed. I mean, that's great. So yeah, your Vision cards are knocking out. This is the Earth one right here. Okay, so your Earth one is far away from being maxed, as is Eleficarus. Whenever you start using Celis, this card right here is like her best in slot, I think. And then, yeah, okay, that's that. That's the vision cards. Looking really solid on the VCs. You can do whatever you want. Weapons are next. So let's look for +5s. Swordbreaker, the OP OG Nagnarok. Flame Tongue, Sword of Light. Yeah, I've seen a lot of +5 weapons here, which is really nice. A lot of swords I'm noticing. Let's continue. Yeah, there's bows for your Setia, an axe. Oh, yeah. Quasar, Cake, I think I said that right. Prudus Lamia, yeah. Your weapons are solid. Let's look at armor. I'm seeing +5 raid armor and +5 non-raid armor, so that's really nice. And your armors are in a pretty good spot. Not a ton of them, but you can make team comps out of all of this, and it's not like you need to have 2 copies of everything, although you do have 2 copies of Galmea Coat, which I don't have, so that's a pretty jealous thing there for me. Then these, again, a little skimp on the accessories, but you don't have Trustmasters in here, which a lot of people include Trustmasters in here. Keeping that in mind, you do have some good +5s. Promptu, the Ribbon, Alexandrite Ring +5 is really good for top-end PvP. Shinra Bangle, Titus's Necklace is OP. Yeah, and then Soul is almost done. Soul and Elf Cloak, man, if you can find a raid to finish those off, I do still find occasion to use those even though they're old today, and that looks like it'd be a fairly easy finish for you. Espers. Okay, so Fire Espers. Yeah, Merilith and Lamia. Now, you said you want Fire to, like, rise again. Bronchiosaurus for Setia would help a lot there. So, like, you have some UR Espers here you could max out for Fire, but your cost-limited Espers are maxed. So that's interesting. Then we go to Ice. Freeze's, Glacial, and Fenrir are maxed. Shiva is super good, so I mean, work on maxing that at some point. And then some of the cost-limited people down here hanging out. Okay, Wind. Yep, love Arimon, Tetrasylphid, and then Typhoon's a god. Almost done with Chocobo. And then, like, really, these two are give and take. I do use Marlboro occasionally in some cost-limited situations, but Chocobo definitely gets the most use out of those. Titan, Golem, Cactar, good choices there. Lich is almost impossible to use. And if you ever start playing, like, Earth Eleficarus is a really good Esper to get leveled up. Lightning, you've got Igaion, Ramu, oh, wait. What did I say? Igaion is here. This is Clouds. It's Death Machine. Not Death Machine. It's the Scorpion Sentinel, or whatever they called it in this game, Guard Scorpion or something. It's at 99, Ramu's at 99, Igaion's at 80, Cost Limited are working their way up. Coral's pretty dang good Cost Limited Lightning. Same story here. URs are max, Cost Limited boys are not. Yeah, light. Little light, get it? Little light on the light. But all maxed out. So 2-headed dragon, Carbuncle, and our boy, the Goal, or whatever he is. The Iron Giant is maxed. Demon Chimera is maxed. All your Dark are maxed except for Bloody Moon. You do have one of the good cost limited and Behemoth maxed. Bloody Moon's also a really good cost limited if you want to play Dark. And then your colorless ones. Okay, so Bahamut and Odin are maxed. The only thing really missing here is Dark Odin, right? So the only stuff that I noticed that was like really missing were some of the Warrior of the Crystal units, which are going to be harder to pull, but will always be coming back. So you can pick up one of them at some point, and Dark Odin, which again, hard to pull, but always going to be around. So you can just snag them at some point. Here are your highest finishes in class match. So you've got a rank 84 finish, which is really, really good, and a rank 16 finish, which is freaking excellent. And you can see the rewards for finishing high in class match are great. And these go along with every time you tier up in class match, you get rewards as well. So really good reward payout there. And that's going to be it. So Waste, thank you for supporting the channel at that Saint of Eileen level. I hope the account review was enjoyable, and thank you guys for watching the video. I'll catch you next time. Peace.